Alright, there is a news coming for the Canadian dollar, and let me check and confirm. It's Canadian dollar um, bank rate. Let me change to local time frame. So at this moment, we are expecting in 10 minutes to come, the Bank of Canada rate interest will be released, and we'll find out how the market will react based on this news. Let me shift these pairs that I don't use now. Look at how the market will behave. So basically, that's how I'm intending to sell for these pairs for the USD CAD and so I'm going to sell on this pair. Looking at the 4-hour chart, there's now I'm going to buy on this pair, and I will use a lot size of 8. I use a lot size of 8.74. I'm going to buy. I'm going to target for around 30 pips, 50 pips, and also for the USD card, I'm going to target around 50 pips. It's possible. Anyway, but I have an intuition that it's a possibility the market will come to this test at this region before going down for the USD card. But let's see how the market will behave. 8 minutes remaining. Looking at my desktop, I see that my entries are well structured. And I'm at equilibrium zone. It has rejected on the equilibrium zone, and that's I'm seeking for a target of the price of 867, 90.867. 6 minutes remaining. The spread is big for the USD CAD. It's bigger than it's smaller than the USD JPY, than the Canadian JPY. As you can see, the spread is so huge. So I think I will go for Canadian JPY because it's much looking to be very volatile. It has blown. Kwisha. So basically, it's not working. It's not working for the Canadian interest rates, and I think it's good to just accept and these trades are being a loss, and look next time to see how the market will be playing. Um, Currently, I'm disappointed, but if I can assess how the market was being before the news, actually it wasn't reaching the actual levels that were intended, and so there was a big gap. There was no consolidation before the news, so this made it impossible to trade. And I think like this trade, it was far from the equilibrium. It was far from the equilibrium zone, so it was difficult to trade at this point because the trade was somewhere here, so there were liquidities to come that will push the price to come at this equilibrium. And I think that's a lesson I've learned today. And next time I will be looking at the market, how it's behaving at those real levels. And also I will be very cautious on USD Canadian interest rate. I think they are not playing smart. They're not manipulating during these Canadian interest rates. So let's look about it tomorrow. Tomorrow there's core CPI and the ECB press conference at the same time. So this can be a very huge market news, and I think this month we are going to look about several trades coming on June 15. There is retail sales, and Wednesday, June 16, also there is FOMC at 9 p.m. And this one can be a good point to trade. There is also the GDP, that one I don't trade. There is also Audi employment change, and which is a big news. I think this month there's not much news. Maybe if we can look at the next month, let me see for the next month if there is any news. Yeah, there is employment rate change. This one every Friday of the first week. Every Friday of the first month, there is always a huge trading entry zones, and also there is NZD interest rate, and this one I'm not going to trade this anymore. And which other trade is so cool? And FOMC. Yeah, that's good for today. In my other account I have blown it, and I think you see, this is how the market is performing. I think these equilibrium zones they must be reached. Uh, yeah, that's how I view the market. They must be reached, and it's good to place a pending order at these regions so that maybe if I can try to buy this trade, I can buy because we are past this equilibrium zone, and the market is supposed to rise. And let me see if I can take some profit here up. I want to clear these negatives, so let's wait and see. Alright, I've cleared all the losses. I don't have to carry these burdens anymore. Let me look for Yeah, so today I've made some profit, 67 pips, and I'm good. So these negative trades, I'll just close them and profits. Anyway, there is something I've learned today, that whenever you see there is a near equilibrium, it's better you place order limits at this region, at the region of equilibrium, or somewhere up at least, instead of entering when its value is somewhere here. It's better you enter these very lower regions, so that you are not being stopped out. You see, out Canadian, it was going well. You see, there wasn't much bigger of manipulation, and if I can try to assess how it behaved, how many pips it went on the negatives? No, only 3 pips. I think I should have traded on this pair. If I had traded on this pair, I'll be on profit, because this pair, I felt that it was really consolidating too much. There was a peak of consolidation, and it will be better to trade on that instead of this one. If you look at this one, looking at 15 minutes, you can see there wasn't a very huge consolidation. But for the other one, there was at least some consolidation, and this one could be a perfect trade. So next time, look for those pairs which have huge consolidations and at those optimal trade entry zones, and try to trade on those pairs. So this could be your entry, and okay. Anyway, let me look at. I think also this one you could have been stopped out if you had used a stop loss of um, less than 10 pips. You will have been stopped out. Let me see if I had used a bigger stop loss. Where is the entry? Here. Okay. If you had used 10 pips stop loss, maybe you would have survived this trade. Try to use 10 pips stop loss, but I don't know why it took you, and just set it to be 10 pips. I think it's the spreads. The spread has typically causes I think it was the spread. It was the spread, I think. Anyway, I will study the other chart and see. It was the spread. You see, I was really on the move. I actually was in the move, and I don't know why I was stopped out. Let me look at USD CAD. This one is playing tricky. It's not moving down, and it proves my hypothesis that whenever you see initial move without a consolidation, just avoid it, because most of the time these trades are not playing smart. They don't play smart during the news, so it would have been riskier. Anyway, that's good for today, and try to improve on this strategy. Meanwhile, my hypothesis remains that Canadian is not good. The Canadian bank interest rate is not good for trading, and I will try to avoid